Alright guys, welcome to my Donnie Darko video. It will be the first film I will be talking about for this YouTube playlist I have started. Now be warned, each one of these videos will contain spoilers, obviously, and I highly advise that you watch Donnie Darko before you watch this because this video might ruin the film for you. Donnie Darko is a great film. From its interesting and unique plot to its brilliant character structure that really convinces you to understand how they feel throughout the film. Donnie Darko is a strange film that will most likely require a second viewing or an explanation video to fully understand it. And no, this isn't an explanation video. More of a critique, but with me expressing my thoughts on this film and how I believe it is one of the greats in filmmaking. It was made in 2001 and the director and writer of this film is Richard Kelly. To be honest, I'm not very fond with names, not even popular ones, so this is the first time I've seen his name pop up. Anyway, this video isn't revolved around him as a director, it is about what he has created as a director. This film is about a kid named Donnie Darko, and he sleeps, guys, he sleeps. Donnie Darko sleepwalks out of his house one night and sees a man in a rabbit suit, a rather creepy looking one, and its name is Frank. The rabbit tells Donnie that when Donnie eventually wakes up and returns home, he finds out that a jet engine has crashed into his room. Then as days go by, stranger things happen, and he continues to see Frank. One of the many things I love about this film is it doesn't treat the audience like a bunch of dinguses. It makes you think consistently, throughout each scene. Mostly. The film kind of feels like it's all over the place, although I still enjoyed it because of the way they expressed the film.
Now you know where he lives.
Let's move on to the characters. Donnie Darko is a teenager that goes to high school, and from the beginning of the film he realizes that he only has about a month before what he believes is the world ending. Throughout the film he realizes multiple things that really build him as a character, such as the things that Frank convinces him to do, which is flooding the school overnight or burning down a pedophile's house. There are other things like him getting a girlfriend and him discovering that he has a fear of dying alone. All of these actions, choices and discoveries made him into a likable character that really feels like his actions bring justice in chaotic ways. Dogs! Shush! 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 Christ, man. Donnie has two main friends and they kind of bring a negative influence into his life, with them constantly bullying Shirita Shen.
Go back to China, bitch.
Shut up! Shut up!
Sorry if I mispronounced her name just then and in the future of this video, but hey, deal with it, you little poop. Anyway, Donnie doesn't seem as much of a bully towards her, as he tells his friends to stop.
Just leave her alone.
But he is a bit of a bully aimed towards his little sister, Samantha Darko, threatening to chuck a toy into the garbage, or even stating that he will fart in her face when she's asleep, which I found a little comedic, to be honest.
When you fall asleep tonight, I'm gonna fart in your face.
I'm telling Mom. Shut up!
Straight up, Donnie Darko is an interesting and peculiar character that brings you along his daily life. You grow attached to him over time and you see him express his emotions to fit the current scene and his character very well. He's a character with a tough outer shell, but deep inside, he's thoughtful and kind. The Darko family are just like any other family besides Donnie, of course. The mother is loving and tries to do her best for the family. The dad finds Donnie's misbehavior rather humorous and keeps the family afloat with his positive personality. Donnie's elder sister, Elizabeth, is a bit of a joker.
You're such a fuck ass.
And sometimes stirs Donnie up, but overall is a cool big sis. A cool big sis. Woo! Donnie's younger sister, Samantha, is not so much of a big character as she is left out of the loop of the plot. She's an innocent little sister that aspires to be a dancer. Now, let us move on to Frank. Frank is a character that has no context in the beginning, and I love that. It's a part of the mystery of the film, not knowing where or who Frank is, if he's real or not, or maybe even some sort of alien. Maybe. That's what I thought when I first watched it. Shut up. Later on in the film, you find out that Donnie starts to do whatever Frank asks him to do, even though Frank isn't forcing him. Frank isn't much of a character, but he is, I believe, a key character within the plot. One of the many pieces laid out throughout the film to eventually piece together at the end. Coming close to the end of the film, Frank eventually takes off his mask, revealing a wound covering his left eye. This then pieces together at the end of the film, with Donnie discovering the real Frank, who has just accidentally run over his girlfriend. For vengeance, Donnie shoots him in the exact same spot as the wound, fulfilling Donnie's vision. Let us move on to the visuals of the film. This is when I will piece in the philosophy of time traveling and Roberta Sparrow. Now when I say visuals, I mean CGI, or whenever it would cut to a quote from this book in the film, or just random footage. Roberta Sparrow, or Grandma Death, is a character in the film that is the author of this book, named The Philosophies of Time Travel. In a way, this book is what really helps this film glue together and make it more understandable, as it gives an explanation to what happens in the film, most of the time. So as in the visuals I was talking about before, after a certain event or discovery would take place in the film, it would cut to a quote from the book, representing it on a page in the book or some other background, like an ocean, for example. Or even just cut to random footage. Now, it's a bit cheesy and the CGI isn't very impressive, especially since the film was made in 2001. Overall though, I really like the choice that they made with these quotes and random footage. It really helps the viewer understand. It also could confuse them at the same time. Hee hee ha ha! Do you know what's funny? The comedy. I love the dialogue in this film from Seth Rogen being a bully,
I like your boobs.
to Donnie's friends being bullies as well.
Shut up.
It's bully paradise in this film. No, actually, seriously, don't bully other people, please. It isn't good for the environment. I think the comedy works more on me because it's just as Gus has recently said. Take it away, Gus. Fucking idiot.
Comedy is... Comedy is very subjective. While some individuals may find a certain thing funny, comedic, or interesting, others may look upon that same piece of content as deplorable or really bad. Typically, even though you yourself or me do not find something funny, we can at least acknowledge how other people may find it funny and where the humor may come from.
Yo, Gus, by the way, please let me be on your podcast. I'm a really funny guy. I will have to say though that this is the main part of the comedy of the film. The funny dialogue choices and the way they say it as well just got me laughing. I don't even know if these certain pieces of dialogue were aimed to make people laugh.
It's the same thing every day. Just walks back and forth the mailbox. Nothing ever in there.
Oh, wait. She goes. She's going back to the box. We may still have mail.
Mail.
Here it is.
And?
This could be it.
Oh!
Oh, no dice,
No.
Grandma. No, sorry.
Someone ought to write that bitch.
Now let's just push forward to the plot and how it twists and turns and keeps you on your brain feet. I've always been a fan of films that have a good twist at the end, even if they seem a bit cheesy. Now the so-called twist at the end is Donnie's girlfriend dying, and then Donnie realizing that he needs to, in a way, sacrifice himself to prevent this chaos and his girlfriend's death from happening. Since he loves her so much, of course, because Donnie is such a softie inside. But I'm also going to talk about the dot-to-dot connections throughout the film, such as cellar door, or Frank turning out to be the guy he kills in the future, or even Roberta Sparrow. Now, I've talked about some of this briefly, but now I'll talk about it in a more concentrated... You know what? I'm going to move on to the soundtracks in the film. Now, the soundtracks are all classics since the film was made in 2001, such as Mad World, Under the Milky Way, or Head Over Heels. Now, I personally believe that all these songs fit in each scene that they are placed in within the film. They give across a certain feeling that just works, where the music builds off what is on screen, and what is on screen builds off of the music. They really feed into each other to reach the main goal of giving across an emotion or thought to the viewer, such as the ending of the film, which, to be honest, almost got me in tears. Let's just say watery eyes. So the emotion it was aiming to give off was sadness, obviously, and I guess I will be playing it for the ending of this video as well. Seems like a good conclusion to me, don't you think?
Faces, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And to feel the way that every child should sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me, look right through